Sanke. For you, Coffee.
I'm a living example of you can get punched in the face and get back up, because I'm the modern day Aztec warrior.
Welcome to MMA Underground. So, you got Buddy V.
We here with Sanke and Buddy V. We live.
We got two awesome guests, both killers. I think right below me, you have Takamura, West Coast. And
sorry, guys, I was just in the restroom. My bad. I'm here, though. I'm here.
hell yeah. And we got the one, the only, J.R. Ridge, a.k.a. the one.
Let's go.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I've been ready. And like I said, I watched some of your fights. For you guys who have not seen either of these men fight, I suggest you go watch them. Because we got this man right over here who's a straight beef. He puts the pressure on, and he earned that nickname the Lion for a reason. And down below, I mean, he's one of the few people who, if you go to watch every one of his fights, he's got positive comments under every single thing, talking about technicality, talking about footwork. I mean, hell yeah.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. These guys are monsters, man.
Thank you.
We appreciate y'all and your time.
No, of course. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Thank
Absolutely. You. Likewise.
So I have one question. One of the very first question I wrote down. I was curious for JR. In one of your interviews after your most recent fight, I did see that you said you wish you were more aggressive a little bit. And I was curious if you meant by like just finishing the fight earlier, because you dominated. I felt him check out partway through the fight, and you were just like, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I won by unanimous decision. Honestly, like, it was a close fight in my eyes. It was back and forth. He was a tough dude, man. I'm not gonna lie. Chancey Wilson's a tough dude, and whenever I had mentioned about, I wish I was a little bit more aggressive, I meant in certain exchanges. Like, there were certain exchanges where I could have. It was almost like he would throw some shots, I would counter him, he would counter me, then I would just kind of back off and reset. But like watching the replay again, I'm like, yeah, there was a couple times in some exchanges where I just kind of backed up and played it safe. But as fighters, we're our own worst critic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Hey, Talk, have you ever been in a similar situation as JR?
I'm sorry. What was the question? I totally missed it. I'm sorry.
Have you been in similar situations as JR?
Like similar situations, like being more aggressive, or
where you
find yourself in certain exchanges wanting to be a little more aggressive in certain exchanges?
Oh, man. All the time. I have my I wouldn't say I have a team, but I have a lot of people that do help me a lot while I'm training and stuff, and they all tell me the same thing. They're like, bro, you're like too nice. You got to go in there and we can see that you're kind of like what you told me after the event, Samke. They were like, you're kind of like pulling back your punches when you really got to like hit them. And like when I do hard sparring, one of my hard sparring partners was telling me just that. He was like, you see how you hard sparred with me? I was like, yeah. He was like, that's how you got to hit your opponents when you're in there. I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm trying to do my thing. And at the same time, like, I want to like pivot and put all my power into it. But for our terrain in the West Coast, the sand holds a lot of my power back. So it's like I want to throw those heavy shots, but I literally just can't. The sand just diffuses a lot of my power.
Yeah.
But no, I do have that similar situation as well, where I'm like, I kind of look back at it, I'm like, dang, I could have had that shot. Dang, if I just dug it a little more. Dang, if I just. So I kind of do have that similar thing as well. I like you guys said earlier, I am also my own worst critic, so yeah. I highly agree with that as well.
Is there a specific fight that you could link that to?
Definitely some of the Golden Arms fights I could have done. The fight I just had with Golden Arms, I could have thrown a little bit harder. 619, I definitely could have thrown harder. My very first fight against Antoine, my first loss, I definitely could have thrown harder, but I just didn't sit on my punches like I should have. I treated that more like a light sparring match. No, not to take any credit away from Antoine. He hit me hard. I was rocked in like the first 10, 15 seconds of the fight and like through the whole fight. And then with Silas was probably my slickest, most slippery opponent. It was just hard to land a solid shot on him, like at all. And then with Hitman, I was coming off this really bad breakup when I fought Hitman, so I've hit him pretty hard. And I told him afterwards too, I was like, bro, I just went through this bad breakup. My baby mom did me dirty and dipped out on me after she got her nursing license and stuff. And I was angry that fight. So I think the hardest I ever hit was during the Hitman fight. And then I told him, like, hey, bro, it was nothing personal. I just needed to blow off a lot of steam. But the other 4 fights, yeah, I could have thrown harder. You know, like I felt like I hit Golden Arms pretty hard. I hit him with a really good, like I countered with a 3-2 at one point. You could see it have more effect during the live feed. When the fight finally dropped, I was like, oh, that doesn't look that significant. But had I thrown all of my shots that way, I think it would have been a more impact, especially with being especially applying all that pressure and those feints. I feel like the harder I could hit, the more effect my pressure and the more effect my feints would have. So, you know, hindsight is 2020. So
Yeah. Now, my favorite part about having guests on this show is the research I get to do. I get to look at these fights. I get to watch. And one of the things I found interesting was with JR, I saw that when I was trying to find some of your amateur fights, I didn't see anything. I just saw the pro record. And then I saw that you were like background in Sandshaw. I was like, hold on. I've heard something looking. And so after I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. You were in 2006 a bronze finalist in the World Championship over in China?
Yeah, in 2006 in Xi'an, China, I was a bronze medalist. Yep, I was on the USA team. Can you tell us about that a little bit? Yeah, man. You know, it's kind of crazy. I started, you know, when I was in my teens, mid-teens, I started training kickboxing, and then it's kind of crazy. Like a coach, this Chinese coach. I lived in Amarillo at this time, and this coach from Lubbock, Texas, he was Chinese, and then he was scouting out some fighters for some fights for overseas, right? And he comes down to Amarillo, and he holds like a sparring, like open sparring, just to see like fighters. And you know, after the sparring was done, he was like, hey, like, you know, you have potential. Like, I would love to train you, and there's a fight overseas if you'd be willing to take it. And I was like, sure, yeah, whatever. So ever since then, within like a 2-3 year full on training every day, I moved to Lubbock, trained there, worked for him, and in that time frame, like I made the USA team 2 or 3 years consecutively. I fought in multiple professional fights overseas in Sanshun, and I was on the USA team. And I fought all the way up until my early mid-20s. Yeah. Okay. Yep. And then I took a hiatus, you know, like, you know, if you're not in the UFC or making, you know, in boxing, like you're not making a lot of money. So it's just like, you know, you're a poor fighter. So so I had to make the decision, you know, to go, you know, to get a job and have health insurance, this and that. And, you know, life is crazy, you know, life took me full circle back into the fight world. Now I'm signed to BKFC, and I'm in the top 5. I'm ranked number 5 in the flyweight division. So yeah.
Hey, let me ask, how old are you currently, and how old were you when you started your journey?
I'm 37 now.
Okay.
I'm the youngest 37 you'll ever meet.
Hey,
But,
prime, bro.
I was nice. I was in my, I want to say I was 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was training kickboxing. I after football, obviously, like I was in Texas, played the Texas football for a while, and then after football, I was like, you know what, I want to try something different, and then it's kind of crazy. Like it just came so natural to me, the kickboxing world, and then the transition into the Sancho was just night and day for me. So it was good.
Hey, could you explain to me and some of the viewers what is Sancho?
Basically, if you can imagine kickboxing with judo or Muay Thai with judo throws. So you depending on, like in the world championships, you can't elbow and you can't knee. So it's punch, kick, and throw. But
Gotcha.
once you get thrown, you get back up and start fighting again. So you don't fight on the ground.
Gotcha.
And then in at the pro level, knees and elbows, just depending on where you're fighting. So
Okay.
yeah. So if you can imagine Muay Thai or kickboxing with full like sweeps, like hip throws, then you get back up and then fight again.
Hell yeah. Takamura, I was going to ask, with some of the technical skills that you have, it's interesting to hear what different fighters, some of their goals are. Do you plan on staying with StreetBeefs, or do you plan on trying to take it to the next level, or what do you kind of have planned for fighting?
So for right now, I'm old. I'm 31. In fighter years, that's like what are fighters retiring at, like 35, 36? Manny Pacquiao finally retired at 40. So for right now, I want to do StreetBeefs. One of the new coaches at the gym I train at, he showed up and he's got a really good background, and he wants me to try amateur before I get older. So I want to give that a shot. It's just like it kind of conflicts with my schedule, with my work schedule, unfortunately. But it's definitely in the back of my mind. Like I don't just want to like stop at StreetBeefs. I definitely want to at least try a shot at the amateur league while I still have somewhat, whatever's left of my youth. But definitely pro is off the table, just because it's like if I should have started, I think I probably should have started like around my early 20s, mid 20s. But don't let me hold anybody else back. The tips that I have for people that are dogs, that are hungry, is definitely do it. Like don't wait until you're older. And I know everyone's situation is different, so there's always a way to do stuff. So definitely try to figure and manage your schedule the best you can. And I say that with so much ignorance because everyone's got a different background. So definitely like just try to do the best you can to at least go as far as you can. I know that this is as far as I can go, being like the StreetBeefs and then of course the amateur level. But for professional, if you have youth on your side, do it now. No excuses. Just go in there and try and do it to your very best, to your capabilities. But that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to be born again and just kind of like do pros. That would be cool. But with what I got, I'm gonna at least try to be a dog as much as I can with StreetBeefs and with hopefully with amateurs. So we'll see how it goes from there.
You have been in StreetBeefs. I mean, the names you fight, even with 619, Golden Arms. I even got a couple of them right here. Silence too, Ant-Man, Hitman. I mean, you're not fighting low people. You're trying to fight some top-tier dogs. So I mean, that's how I judge my fighting. I know I've been getting better because every person I fought has been significantly better. So even if they're all close matches, I must be getting better because it's all getting better.
With those top guys, yeah. I feel that way too. I feel like I fought 619 a little early, in my opinion, but I couldn't give it up because 619 was one of the guys I really wanted to fight. When I first started StreetBeefs, I was like, I saw him comment like before I even did my first StreetBeefs event, which was StreetBeefs West Coast 8 last April in 2021. I sat there and I was like, who's this guy? He's sitting there. He's kind of he's coming off a little bit like he knows what he's doing, And so I check him out. I was like, 619, who's that? And I watched. I think he had 3 fights up or 4 fights. It was right before he fought Golden Arms. And he called out Golden Arms, I believe. I guess there was some drama behind the scenes that I guess Golden Arms was calling him out. So he reciprocated, called him out and whatever. And I was like, who is this guy? He's saying he's going to break a rib. I want to see what he's about. And I watched his fights and I was like, ooh, yeah, he would tear me up right now. I was like, man, if I try to fight this cat, I'm going to get torn up. He can switch over to southpaw. He can do orthodox. He's basically got like he can look at you from like different looks. He goes to the body, which was like not to bash anybody, but when I was watching Street Beefs from like the OG art and stuff, I saw a lot of headhunting, and I was like, I don't know, man, the 619 guy, he might break somebody's rib. And to be able to have that honor to be in the same cage as him, I was like, man, I was super. To this day, I'm starstruck. Like every single time I see everybody, like I see Sam K, he was sparring with me after I won the title. I was sitting there, I was like, man, I get to get clapped by Sam K. That's what's up. And for 2 rounds, I was like, my boy came in for 2 rounds clapping me, dude.
Oh, hold up. Because you being way too nice and humble. This man worked me. He worked me in that first round. Like I had to redeem myself. This man worked me. You know, the champion worked me after running through like 5-6 dudes consecutively sparring after winning the belt. So let's put it all in perspective. You worked me. It was an honor for me. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, bro. That was a hell of a performance. You know, and hell of a spar.
Nah, man, that was hard for you.
I was gonna say, JR, were you hesitant at first to join Bare Knuckle when you got the offer?
Not really. I was kind of ready to get back into the fight game. My friend Julian Lane, I don't know if you guys have heard of Julian. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He's the Let Me Bang guy. He's the Let Me Bang guy. Yeah, Let Me Bang, bro. But cool. My buddy, he was out in Florida and he came to the gym to get some work. And ever since we became good friends. And then I actually cornered him in a fight in Wichita, Kansas, when he fought Dave Rickles in last year. And he was telling me that they're bringing in the 125 division for the men, and they were like, and you know, they were saying they're looking for some good 125ers, and I was like, you know what, let's do it. I'm in. So my manager at the time was like, all right, we'll get you in. So I think I was like on the 3rd or 4th card after they brought the flyweights in. So I was excited. Like at first 5 or 6 years ago when Bare Knuckle first came out, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like I'll never do that. You know what I'm saying? And then I watched the sport evolve into what it is now. And you know, there's a ton of talent and quality fighters, like guys that already been established in the UFC or Bellator, or you know, some of the guys that are done in the MMA world, they're moving over to Bare Knuckle. And you know, the quality of fights it's not just a brawl now. It's actually you know, it's really good quality fights now. So I was 100% in.
Hey, can you explain in your own words the difference between boxing gloves and boxing? Because I don't think everyone understands the difference. That's a different.
Yeah. It's a different animal, guys. It's the same exact rules as boxing. The only thing different is you can clinch and you can literally hold the neck and dirty box of the middle. But yeah, it's crazy. So you can clinch, you can hold them, but you have to have one arm free if you're in the clinch. Otherwise, just tie up just like boxing, and the ref will split you up, and then you reset and go again. But if you can imagine a boxing match without any gloves, all you have is tape. Like they tape your hands all the way up to about a half an inch from your knuckles, and it's straight boxing. And you've got MMA guys in there. You've got now some solid boxers. So the matchups are great to watch, and the skill level is it's amazing. And now BKFC has BKFC Thailand, BKFC UK.
Really?
Yeah, we're worldwide now. Yeah.
Know that.
BKFC is doing, you know, big things, and they've signed a lot of big names like Chad Mendes. They signed Chad Mendes last year. Dave Rickles is a ex-UFC, ex-Bellator guy. Julian Lane's a big name. Mike Perry. Mike Perry. Mike Perry fought my boy Julian. And then he headlined the big fight in London. who else? Big Ben Rothwell is signed to BKFC now. I mean, Paige Van Zant was signed.
Ooh.
Joey Beltran.
Subscribe to
Yeah,
her
Joey-
OnlyFans.
Yeah. Joey Beltran is actually fighting next week, or actually he's fighting Friday against Houston Alexander. You guys remember Houston Alexander? Yeah, he's a little older now, but he's still going, man. But yeah, there's a lot of big names. There's John Dotson that's looking like on, so after my fight, I had talked about me fighting John Dotson, and there's a lot of stuff going on the internet right now about possibly me and
his
John.
explosive debut. Oh,
Yeah,
my
his
goodness.
debut, man. And what's crazy is that he was like, I've got my eyes on the flyweight division, and then after my fight, I was like, well, John Dotson, like, I have the utmost respect for you. I'm a fan, but I've got my eyes on you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's facts. I respect him as a fighter. He's a good dude, good family man. But whenever he's coming in stirring up some dust, and I'm helping build the flyweight division. It's only he and I fighting is only going to build the flyweight division even more. And what's crazy is that there's no belt right now for the flyweight division. Every other weight class, there's a champ. Nothing for the flyweight division. And what I'm thinking is that David Feldman, the president of BKFC, I think he's just waiting to build the flyweight division. And right now, like there's some solid talent. And John Dotson is coming in. He's making some noise. I'm coming off this win. I'm making some noise. And even the guy that I just fought, he's been doing great things in his fight. So we'll see. We'll see if we can make that John Dotson fight happen, or if anything, man, like I'm ready for a title shot. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Title shots.
Oh, man, it's bound to happen, bro. I can feel your fire. It's bound to happen, man.
I appreciate that. I really do.
So since we're talking BKFC, Takamura, if something happened and your amateurs were real good, let's say that offer came to the table, would you be willing to consider that, or what are your thoughts on that? Would you rather just watch it, or would you actually fight it?
What was the question, bro? I'm sorry.
If in the future something ever happened where you could go to BKFC, is that something you would ever do, or would you prefer just to watch it?
Yeah, bro. So bare knuckle boxing for me, bro. Bare knuckles kind of hurt, so I'm just gonna stick with boxing,
Bro.
Much respect to you, JR, because I don't know, man. It's a big difference when you're getting hit with a glove versus getting hit with straight knuckles. I think you guys are savages for that, bro. Even my girl, Paige Van Zandt, she's my girl. I don't care what her husband. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I know, even her, like, she gets all jacked up after a fight. That's just like that's a whole nother level of fighting, man. I don't know if I could do that. I'll be a fan for now, If the opportunity came up, though, we're talking money, though. I don't know how much they make or anything, but we're talking money to get punched in the face. So I don't know, man. I'm already doing it for free. If they're throwing a contract deal at me, so it might change my life. It might change my life. It might change my eyes. We'll see. I can't really say until the offer's presented as of right now, because we're just speaking hypotheticals. I'd step back until there's a contract in front of me with some numbers, and I'll be like, "Oof, we all have a price,
Yeah.
What kind of numbers? Let's put it out there in the world. What kind of numbers?
You said what, some kid?
I said, let's put it out there in the world. What kind of numbers would it take?
Oh, man. I don't know how much they make. I'm ignorant. But, if they can make – I'm pretty sure they make 6 figures. So I'm pretty sure they make 6 figures. Man, 6 figures is pretty dope. So I like 6 figures sounds like.
You want that Francis Ngannou money. All right, I can dig it.
Yeah, I mean – like I said, it's not boxing. Boxing is where you get 7 figures at, But like I said, it's too late for me to go pro. But if we're talking like 6 figures at least, I might make something work. I'll take a bare knuckles to the face afterwards, At that point.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. But I like the first punch to the face, like initial punch in every fight, and I've had 4 fights for bare knuckle, and the first punch is always the one that stings the worst. You know what I'm saying? It's always the first one that like it really gets you. But after that, like it's go time. But man, like the first time I got punched in bare knuckle in my first fight, I was like, damn, this is different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
this is different. Yeah.
How did you get over that your first fight, JR? Because that's like I said, I don't want to get hit with bare knuckles. I have before. I don't like it. I'd rather get hit. I could take glove punch to the face all day, bro. So how do you take the first knuckle punch and then you're just like, okay, cool. How do you do that, bro?
Man, I don't. It's honestly, I just shut my brain off. Like it's all just reacting. It's all just me just reacting.
That's
And
scary.
yeah, it's like after, but right when it happens, you're
Yeah.
just like, you're like, dang, that stung, and then you're just in the mix again. But after the first one, it's like you're good for the rest of the fight until you get cut or whatever.
Right.
But after that first one, like it's in. Then the
That's
sting is
dope.
gone. Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of your training, because like Tyson says, everyone's got to fight until they get punched in the face. Do you feel like your training actually like helps you out a lot to take the hits and to just like be able to still strategize, formulate a strategy, and just like be able to kick a lot of butt? Or how do you feel with your training, bro?
My training, I'm around a lot of boxers. Training with a lot of great boxers, and it's really the exact same, man. It's like you can't really train for the impact of bare knuckle when you're sparring and doing bag work and mitt work and stuff like that. I mean, you can just wear your wraps, or you can just go straight up, bare knuckles on mitts. But I mean, nothing can really prepare you for like the fist to face. But I just train just like any normal professional boxer does. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's really different.
Have you ever sustained major damage in bare knuckle?
My second fight. This fight was crazy. So it was in Orlando, and I ended up fighting a guy from California, and he was a big dude. Like he was much taller than me. I think he was 5'8", 5'9", and he's naturally a big guy. So the day of the weigh-ins, right? The day of the weigh-ins, I weigh in. I'm on the scale, and I see his coach run past me to go see if I made weight, right? And I step on the scale, I weigh in 125 exactly, and then I see him walk off, and then I talk to I'm talking to the commission and also the matchmaker. I'm like, yo, what's up with Daniel? Like, and they're like, he's out there running. And his coach wanted to make sure that you made weight. If you didn't make weight, he was going to try to make an agreement to where like, hey, let's just fight on these terms. But he was like, dang, he didn't make weight.
Sunshine, what up?
Yeah, so I get on the scale. I start drinking my Pedialyte, eating some watermelon, and then I was like, make him run, like make him drop his weight. And then an hour goes by, he still didn't make weight, and I'm like, what's going on, right? And then his
facts. She's the heart of StreetBeefs. That's facts.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, the doctor called him off because he was so dehydrated. Like his vitals were like terrible. And I was like, well, that's BS. You know what I'm saying? I made my weight. I'm a professional. Like he's a professional. He should like the weight is the biggest thing for a professional fighter. So I'm like, well, what's the game plan? So what's next? They're like, well, it's up to you. Like you can choose to fight or not. And I was like, well, give me his purse, right? I want half of his purse.
Yes, sir.
Like, no, we
that.
can't. Yeah, they're like, well, we can't do half, but we'll give you this amount. And I'm like, all right. So as a fighter and as an athlete, it's just like, okay, you've killed yourself through training camp, and you've prepared yourself for this fight. Like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fight, right? So we end up fighting the next day. He's even bigger whenever we're in the ring, and
he did look big. Daniel Alvarez.
Yeah, Daniel Alvarez, and hats off to him. Like he's actually a good guy. Like there's no animosity between he and I, but he used his range very well. He wouldn't let me get on the inside. He tagged me with a lot of good jabs, and then it cut me. And then the doctor stopped it in the third or fourth round. The doctor stopped it, and I ended up taking the L. But what was crazy, after I was looking at the like on BoxRec and all the other websites, like they had me up on the scorecards, but I had to take the L.
No.
So it kind of pissed me off. And another thing that pissed me off is that, okay, one, he didn't make weight. Okay. So he's now ranked number 3 in the flyweight division. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how is he ranked when he didn't make weight?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. It's not like, how can you do that? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, right now I'm back in the rankings. Like, it doesn't really matter to me now because, you know, like, I know the quality fighter that I am, and I know that the fan base that I have, like, people want to watch me fight. Like, he hasn't fought since our last fight, and that was in May.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't even know what his manager's up to, but you know, they continue to. My management wants they get me the fights. People want to watch me fight, so it's good. Yeah.
Now, a question that I have for both of you is actually, it's funny enough, it's not always the losses, but sometimes it's the wins. But what was your toughest fighter, your toughest opponent that you had to go against? So,
That's a good question.
You want to go first, Takamura?
Toughest opponent. Ooh, honestly, I hate to say it, but every single fight is tough for me, man. Because like, one of the biggest reasons why I wanted the belt is because I wanted to be able to fight for 5 rounds instead of for 3. That's honestly probably like the only reason why I wanted it. Champion's cool. I do appreciate the honor, of course. You know, I won it fair and square. But my fight style, I don't warm up until about round 3, 4, 5 because, like, that's probably the toughest thing for me. Is just to be able to adapt to my opponent. I wish we could go 12 rounds, but you know what I'm saying, we can't. So the biggest thing is like is I'm a slow starter. So my Antoine fight was tough. My Silas fight was all of my 5 fights so far have been tough. Just because I'm like, in the first 2 rounds I'm trying to get used to my opponent, but if we're fighting regular Street Beefs fights, it's 3 2-minute rounds. So by the time I finally have my opponent's timing, I've got like an idea of what to do next. The fight's already about to be over, you know. So every single fight has been tough for me for that reason. It's just like Antoine. The other thing that doesn't help me either is when I get rocked. So Antoine rocked me really early. I remember being rocked with 619. I was too frustrated and too angry to be like super duper rocked by Hitman, but he punched hella hard. Golden Arms, I've been sparring a lot more lately. So, hey, yeah, that's right. Let me get started on that really soon, Miss Sunshine. I gotta ask 619 if he could send me some explicit content so I could market it as my own. But we're gonna get right to that. And you got your free 59 membership. I got you. And then with Golden Arms, I feel like it wasn't as tough. He hit hard. He rocked me in the second round super hard, and none of his hits were light. He had a sick wicked jab, which made it hard for me. I didn't expect him to have such a good clean jab, and stepping back and stuff, I didn't cut him off. So that fight was hard as well. Yeah, but like I said, it's just like every fight is hard for me. I can't really say which one was my toughest. You know, like I was a little more prepared for Golden Arms because I've been hard sparring and I've been getting hit. So definitely, well, I don't know what people's take is on hard sparring, but I do recommend it. Put on headgear and a cup when you're hard sparring. I don't really do the cup, but I do wear headgear. Definitely recommend that. I definitely recommend hard sparring just so you can know what it feels like to at least throw your hits at like 75, 80%. Not go all out, obviously, but about 75 to 80% on the head. Then you'll really know where your gas tank is at too. Because if you're just light sparring all the time, you can go for days light sparring, in my opinion. When you're hard sparring, you're actually throwing your hits at 75, 80%. And then you're going to realize where your gas tank is really at. And also where your gas tank is at because, like, let's be real. All of us here have fought. All 4 of us know how mentally taxing getting punched in the face is, you know? So it's like, that's a huge another thing to really worry about too. And that's what really takes away a lot of your stamina too. And that's where it's that mental toughness you have to develop too. And I feel like the only way to do that is through some hard sparring, some light sparring, get your timing down and stuff. It's just sparring, I feel like sparring definitely goes a long way. But yes, I know I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry, guys. But yes, every single fight I've had so far has its own challenges in its own way. So I can't really pick which one, you know what I'm saying? Like, can't really pick which one was like the hardest one. So that's my answer for that anyways.
Yeah, I'd have to kind of say the same thing, Taka. It's each fight is different. You know, I'm kind of the same way too. I'm a slow starter. After the first round, like I start really getting in the grind. But you know, I think this last fight with Chancey Wilson, I mean, I knew he was going to be a tough opponent. I knew he was going to be quick. I knew his style was going to be was going to complement mine because we're both quick guys. He's a southpaw, so that was the only thing that kind of we had to really prepare for him. But you know, I think with that fight, going into the fourth round, I give him the fourth round. I feel like he had won that round, but in the fifth round, he came out guns a-blazing. That was a close fight, and he picked the shots real well the first half of the fifth round, and then I hit him with a good shot, and then I staggered him, and then after that, like I smelled blood, and I went in, and in the last 35-40 seconds of the fight, man, it was just me just teeing off on him, and I'd have to say like that was probably one of the toughest fights because just he was just a great opponent. You know, it was just back and forth.
The only fight that went all 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, that one went all 5 rounds. Yep.
I got to interject real quick if you're done, JR. But now that you reminded me, bro, southpaw. So if we're going based off that, it's not a best kept secret. Everybody, I sell myself out all the time. I suck against southpaws. I've been getting better against them. But yeah, so if we're going off that stance switch, Silas and 619 were my toughest for sure, just because of that. The angle, bro, like it's hard to land on that angle, you know.
Right. I mean, it is. It's difficult, especially. It's like it's a mirror of yourself, really.
Exactly.
If your left hand is in front, his right hand is right there. So it's literally a mirror. So the angle is a lot different.
Way different.
Like the distance is a lot different. So you've really got to, like, if you're going to prepare for a southpaw, you've got to really focus on what he does because it's all about timing at that point. It doesn't matter if you're both are fast. It doesn't matter if you're both are strong. It matters about literally the inches. Like the you talked about footwork. You talk about, I mean, it literally comes down to the timing and how you set yourself up for them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Very true. Very true. Hey, JR, I wanted to ask you, Takamura mentioned hard sparring earlier. What is your opinion on hard sparring and how often do you do that?
You know, we spar, like sometimes it's 3 times a week, but for this camp, we hard spar twice a week. And it was, I mean, and it's hard sparring. Like we have headgear, you know, we have groin protector and everything. But yeah, it's definitely hard sparring for, you know, we at least get 6 rounds. 6 rounds. Yeah.
The hard spar, I like that. I do some medium, but sometimes I don't know. It's like sometimes when I really train, I'll do some hard sparring, get some soft sparring. But then a lot of times when I train, half the time when we train, we smoke. So we'll always go about like 50-60. We get our bag workout in, we do some sparring, we do this, we do that, and we just go and yeah.
Compa G, you would sleep me, bro. I'm not as technical as you are.
Yeah, for me, I believe in hard sparring before a fight. If I don't have a fight scheduled, I keep it light to medium. But I definitely believe in a lot of sparring. You know, a lot of sparring, and you know, if we're prepping, you know, we got a fight camp on, then yeah, we go get some sparring in, medium to hard.
Yeah, you have to. That's a must.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what's crazy? You can spot a fighter who never hard sparred. You can tell what they look like when they're in the mix, because it's foreign. You know, you see it. You know, in the reactions, you see it in the face. You know, and like you said, it's necessary.
Oh yeah, I remember I went to this boxing camp and I was gel training. I had like Viking Warrior, Jay Goddard, and all these other people came out. And one of the dudes I didn't know had won nationals for boxing. So they're all sparring. They're like, all right, I did one of the sparring rounds with one guy. I was like, all right, cool, this is a good workout. I'm feeling it. Those are good shots. So I can't get in with him. And I was like, all right, cool, let's go. I hop in, I don't know. And I'm like, damn, this guy's quick. Beep, beep. Pops you right up my nose. I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I remember seeing start. I was like, this guy's good. Going. And he waited. And I know he did it on purpose. 15 seconds before the round was going to end, he hit me with one of the hardest liver shots. And I took one step forward, he stepped back, I just went right behind me. I was like, oh. And then I tried to stand, and I'm like, oh, and he just laughed. He's like, all right, good job. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that liver shot will do it, man.
Yeah,
No joke. I've been stopped with a body shot in the gym. That was hard.
so I'm curious.
Shots, man.
Oh, thank you. I try because I like to be a body snatcher, so I try, you know, but definitely. I like to change levels a lot. Well, you guys have seen my fights. I try to change levels a lot as much as I can. Go like upstairs, go downstairs, upstairs. It's good to mix it up. Like Canelo. Someone said it with Wama. Wama said it in my last fight against Golden Arms. I'm like, oh, Canelo, I saw that. I steal a lot of stuff from Canelo. He's like, in my opinion, even though he lost the Bibble, he's still the GOAT in my opinion. So.
Oh, yeah, man. He is the GOAT. He's the GOAT, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I mean,
take a lot
you go
of
different weight class. That means your skill is so good, you have to go to another level. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been wonderful to watch you elevate, bro, because you know, I remember when you used to come to the gym, you know what I'm saying, and you'd be in the back on that one bag, you know what I'm saying, minding your own business, getting your workout in, and you know, I watched you develop fight after fight, you know what I'm saying, and you know, from one gym to the next gym, and you know, from no belt to big belt, you know, it's great, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to do my best, man. Like I remember one time I think I was doing a what was it? I think it was the pick. They were doing a pick for StreetBeefs West Coast at one point, and then I asked to like get on or whatever, and Tank gave me the honor of getting on the live. And then Tank said, like, dude, you're always at the gym. I'm like, I gotta put in work, bro. Sometimes I go twice a day, you know. So I go to Anytime Fitness to lift weights, and I'll go to UFC gym to train. So sometimes I'll be hitting the gym twice a day. Like tomorrow is gonna be one of those days. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna take my kids to school in the morning, get my workout in. By the time they get out, they're gonna get out early tomorrow, so I'm gonna pick them up. Then I'm gonna go back into UFC gym. I gotta coach the kids, so my daughter's gonna take my class, and then after that, I'm gonna take the head coach's class. And he's the reason why my head movement got better. Like just some of the drills that he makes us do. If you guys go back and watch the Golden Arms fight, you'll see me parry Golden Arms jab at one point and shoot one right back. That's one of the drills that the coach makes us do. The head movement is kind of where that came from too. The coach always makes us do like a couple of repetitive head movement options. So you know, I thank the coach, thank my sparring partners for that. Everybody that helps me level up. You know, when I get to go in there and dance with everybody in StreetBeefs, like before after events. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you see me. So I was in there. I was light sparring with Unga Bunga. He was giving me some good looks before I fought Golden Arms, and then I sparred with Fiji too. I was like, Fiji, I gotta fight Golden Arms. He hits hard as hell. I need you to punch me, bro. Like I'll spar before, I'll spar after. So I love boxing, bro. So I love everything that comes with it. The training. I gotta start running, especially for my dad. In January, I think, is when we're gonna fight. Because I gotta have my cardio for him. He's over there slaying toxicas up in Big Bear, California. So I gotta up my cardio too for him.
Hey, that's gonna be a hell of a fight, man. That's gonna be one hell of a fight.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that our first fight was close, so I can only imagine what he's cooking and what I'm cooking. You know, so that'll be very good to see. So, see how it goes.
It's a matter of who wants it more. You know, I told him the same thing. I got to tell you, you know. You guys are both at the top of your game. You know, I would say you guys are an equal match. It's just a matter of, you know, who shows up that day and who takes it, you know, or are we going to agree to a draw?
Right.
I was curious. I know, JR, when I was stalking your Instagram page for a little bit, I saw that you had a brand called One. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, I started my own brand of clothing. It's One by JRH, and yeah, it's basically like an active streetwear brand. It's, you know, it's nothing big logos. It's nothing crazy. Not a lot going on. It's clean and sleek. I've got the Lion collection. It's a lot of, you know, it's just I have the Lion Collection, and then I have for the women's side, it's called the Lioness. So it's real clean. Most everything is black and white. But yeah, like everybody go check it out.
We'll do. I love active wear.
Let the people know what's the website. How do we get to that?
It's onebyjrridge.com.
Hell yeah.
Will do.
Like I said, I stalk sometimes. I'll be looking at the back. You two talk around, looking at your stuff, and I'm like, yeah. Oh man. So what? Sometimes, because we're probably gonna let you guys go in a little bit. It's getting close to commercial break. But normally I ask a question, what's something you wish you could improve on? What's your biggest weakness? But I want to flip it this week with you two and ask, what do you feel is one of your biggest accomplishments?
Good question.
You can go first, Mr. JR. Do your thing, bro.
Well, that's a good question. I think one of the biggest accomplishments that I can say that I've had probably within the last year. I don't know if you guys are religious. I'm a man of God. I got baptized this last year. It was good. It was definitely. It was, I went to church as a youngster, but as I get older, faith is something that I really that I really have in my heart. So I think it was an accomplishment for me, and it's bettered my life. And God is my biggest fan. He gave me all the talent that I have that I get to showcase on the big stage. So I would say that would be the biggest accomplishment for me.
I can think that. Hell yeah.
Hey, that's beautiful, man. We actually got a guy on the West Coast. He's a pastor who fights, and this guy, he preaches and he beats people up. It's crazy.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Talk. What about you, Talk?
Man, that's a good question, bro. Honestly, I know it sounds kind of like bittersweet, but I had some bad stuff happen to me last year, where my baby mom dipped out on me and the kids after she got her nursing career, and then 2.5 months after that, my father passed away, and he was here at my house, so I ran into that. But what happened was the same thing you, JR. Like God, I feel like God puts obstacles in my way to make me stronger, to elevate me to the next level. So that wasn't on accident. That was on purpose to level me up. So one of the biggest accomplishments was leveling up myself altogether from those events. I remember taking a 2-week break from life. Like work cut me a break after my dad passed away. They already knew what happened with me and my baby mom, so they cut me a break, let me go with my family back in Sacramento. I live in Reno, so I went to Sacramento, that 2.5-hour drive, trying to go in between winter storms. I remember that day, the fire department came in when my dad passed away, and I just picked up my kids later that day. I got to meet with one of my supervisors from work. He just happened to be in Reno. He told me to come over. He treated me to some breakfast. And then after that, I went to my baby mom, told her what happened, picked up my kids, threw everything in the trunk. I was like, I think I need that. Boxing gloves are going in there. We're going to get some work. So I drove to Sac, did all that, got my training in, spent the holidays there, came back. I was hungry. I was so pissed, man. I just went into UFC gym over in Reno, had my first free session. I already knew I was going to sign myself and my daughter up, so I just did my thing. So the biggest thing that I feel that I've got so far in the last year was just that hunger, that appetite. God allowed me to become one with the warrior that I am, dude. Like, and it's not just for fighting; it's for everything in my life. I'm hungrier. Like I can no longer be complacent. So God took away from me complacency and told me, you must adapt, son. Like you need the weapons to conquer, and not just in the ring, but also outside of the ring, because the whole world is the ring. So I feel like I got to reconnect myself with the warrior that I am inside. And if I know Samke keeps up with me on social media, so like I'm always saying stuff like no limits, like no limits. Be the best version of yourself, because that's what God gave me. He gave me he humbled me with my. I mean, I was already coming off humble because my dad beat some humbleness into me, but life beat the biggest piece of humble pie into me in the last year, and that's the fruits that I have to offer. Like that's the progress where I'm at now. And definitely, like, it's gotten me so ready for everything else that's gonna follow. You know, like, and I feel like as humans, you know, God comes first, 100%, and a lot of the times the old us has to get left behind. You know, I hate to say it this way, but sometimes the old versions of ourselves has to die in order for the new versions of ourselves to come from those ashes, so we could be ready for the next challenge. And that's just life. Life's a fight.
Yeah.
We're just in round two, boys. You know what I'm saying, men? We're just in round two. Don't let me disrespect it like that. I apologize. But men, we're just in round two of this 12-round fight. You know what I'm saying? We got our entire lives ahead of us. So let's knuckle up and let's just take the hits and just hit back even harder. So that's what I feel like I've got accomplished, you know. So definitely, JR, when you brought God, I was like, oh, let me tell you about my man God, bro, because he's the reason why I'm still here. God comes first, then yourself, then your family, because that's how that hierarchy goes, in my opinion. At least in my house, God comes first. You have to, 100%. Praise him. Thank you. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at without that, you know.
Same.
Now,
Inspiring.
We gotta have Somke give us an answer too.
Yes, please. Let's do it.
The biggest accomplishment? Dang, bro, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to double back off of what Takamura is talking about. I've had similar experiences that I'll probably go into detail another time, you know, but just more or less, you know, being broken down to level up. You know, I kind of went through that myself, being forced to submit. You know what I mean? God will do that. Situations will come up that'll make or break you. You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to be broken to level up. You know, and you know, I've come from some hardships, and I don't have to look at that anymore. So along with that, martial arts has helped me stay focused, stay disciplined, and push forward. You know what I mean? I haven't had as many fights as Tak, you know, or as JR, or as Buddy, you know, but I am happy that I'm undefeated. You know, I have a goal set, you know, next year. I'm not going to spread it too loudly, but next year we're doing Muay Thai. So, you know, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, so it's just a matter of staying on track and, you know, knowing that we're on a different path now and we got to stay on that track, stay on track, you know. So, yeah.
No, I can dig. Damn, some great ass answers. Shit. I feel like mine's not gonna be as cool. No, I was gonna say the word you used. I really was gonna say was discipline. I feel like people in my family before, like, oh, well, you work out or you run or you do this, you're disciplined. Or sometimes when people hear the word discipline, they think of physical discipline, discipline your kid, discipline, blah blah blah. And to me, I felt like I really had to learn how to break the word down and apply it to my life in all aspects to the point where I am able to grow. Because I felt like with a lot of the stuff I'm doing, like yeah, you got your brand one, I got as well. I was starting and I tried doing a lot myself. And I can't do this and I can't fight and I can't this. I'm like, you know what? I can. I just have to make sure everything in my life is prioritized the way I want it. Because obviously the way I live my life has got me where I am now. If I really want to move, like you guys said, we have to be broken down, and it's discipline was one of the biggest teachings because I found the more disciplined I became, the more happy I became, the more I could do better for my children, for my girl, for my family, even other people in my family. I just became an all-around better person. And yeah, that's yeah. Since we're there, that's it. Yeah. Ooh.
That's awesome.
That's dope. Hell yeah, discipline.
So since we're at that time of the show, we gotta ask you guys where we can find you all. You guys give your shout outs, your links, or all sorts of fun stuff. That we ended on a real good, happy, uplifting woo note.
Let the people know.
Wait, you want to go first?
You go first, JR. Do your thing.
All right. Everybody can find me. My Instagram is @JRRidge, and my Facebook is JRRidge. And if you guys want to check out my clothing line, it's onebyjrridge.com.
You better go do it.
Y'all go do that. Don't play with this man. Do that.
He probably bare knuckle.
You guys can follow me at Javier Quiroz Jr. over on Facebook, and then my Instagram is at Swooperman Hobby, so SWOOPRJAVI. So I'll probably be more active on there. I have it on private, so just like try and see if you can shoot me a message or something on there, and I'll accept you and stuff on Instagram and Facebook too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. It was an honor to have both of you killers here on the show. Woo!
Thank you guys for inviting me. For real, this whole thing is dope as hell, man. I got to keep up with it more often.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I got my notifications on, so.
We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all's time, and you know, the reason why you guys are here is because you guys have put in that work. You know what I mean? And it's not, you know, we appreciate your time now, but we appreciate the time that you put in the ring, you put in training. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get on shows like these. You know, thank y'all.
Thank
you guys.
Respect.
With that being said, Jay, I'll let you take us to a break, and you two gentlemen, please have a marvelous night tonight. Thank you.
Night, guys.
What's good? It's your homie, Freezes Christ. Y'all know the deal. Make sure y'all head on over to overtimehustling.com, where you can catch all the latest merch, all the newest mags, all the media, everything, know what I mean? And you can also find me on Winging It with the homies Keith G, King Dale, and Payne Gusto. And you can catch me on Turf Tales with the homie SK. And if you got nothing to do on Sundays, even if you do got something to do, make sure you tap in the Overtime Reactions hosted by the homie Cuzzo. And I cannot forget the homie Jay over there at the Yankee and the Brit channel. So make sure y'all go over there and check them out. And hey, check me out, your boy Freezes, on that Real Talk with Jay. It was a hell of an interview, yo. Gotta do it again. I keep saying it because I mean it. We gotta do it again. I had a great motherfucking time. But anyway, you know who it is. Freezes H, OTH, Yankee and the Brit, Winging It, Turf Tales, Overtime Reactions, Chronicles Podcast. You know the drill, Cush's Corner. It's a motherfucking movement. So move with it or move out the motherfucking way. Simple and plain.
Overtime hustling, we hustling over.
Hey, it's Wedo. As some of you may know, we are hosting an event here in Arizona in December. So the goal of this event is to have as many cross-branch matches as possible, the biggest name StreetBeefs has to offer. So we reached out to members of these branches, and there's a lot of interest in attending. However, much of that interest is going to be stifled because of travel expenses. Heart in the Fight is offered to step up and help fundraise. We're going to be taking donations, all of which will go towards providing as much help as possible to your favorite fighters from the OG Yard, StreetBeefs Dirty South, StreetBeefs Scrapyard, and StreetBeefs West Coast. We will also be selling t-shirts and other merchandise from Heart in the Fight, such as Wedo and the Mexican, Locked In, exclusive StreetBeefs anniversary shirts, and of course the rare Heart in the Fight shirts. Again, all proceeds, every dollar, go back to the fighters to make sure that we provide the best matchups possible. If you're interested in pre-ordering anything, please DM myself or Danny.
Woo. All right. That was fun. Those guys were dope as hell.
Bro, great show, great guest. What else can you ask for, you know?
Exactly. Well, I know two things you could ask for. A fighter to watch at a Fire 5.
Let's go.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
Ooh, see how we played off that? Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, I'll start off with StreetBeefs Scrapyard, Top Knocker. Oh my goodness. He is a fighter to watch because I've seen him grow. He's cool as hell. I've been able to watch him fight and grow throughout every fight he's had. But the most recent fight is the reason why he really made the list. He took a tooth. When he fought the comedian, there was this whole joke about how he lost the tooth, and then he's smiling, and he literally, with one of his punches, chipped the man's tooth straight out, and he kept it as a souvenir. So, I mean, damn, you got to be on the list for something that badass.
That's wow.
Yeah. The two, StreetBeefs West Coast. Obviously, we got to have Takamura because, like I said, he's a killer fighter, very technical. He has great footwork. I've seen him improve with every fight, and obviously, he's gotten better because he's now the lightweight heavy champion.
Yeah. Man's fights out. Takamura.
Exactly. Then next we have from the regular OG Street Beefs yard, Nolan. I'm interested because he fights at 155, which is my weight. But he had a fight where him and his opponent, their intro said, I'm looking for the knockout. I'm going for the knockout. He goes in swinging, guns blazing. His opponent can't handle it, starts running away. And I mean, this guy literally turns and starts almost sprinting across the stage. So Nolan chases him down, and when his opponent goes to stop and try to juke him, he just stops, plants his foot, goes straight up, BAM! Got a shit straight to dude's face, knocked out, cold.
Come on,
So I
man.
was like, okay. And that was his first fight, so I'm interested to see how he's gonna fight. I'm like, oh, let's see if he got the gas chamber with, when you gotta go 3 rounds.
Dude, that's the first one I'm looking up, man.
Bro, that was like, and then obviously we're gonna throw JR in there because he's a killer ass fighter. One of the things I like is he really is a huge representative for the Philippines. So when you think about that, you think about Manny Pacquiao. So I mean, he's out there putting that work in. So I don't want to mention too. Those are my fighters to watch.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. I think it's about that time, man. We need a little fire.
It doesn't matter where you are in life. You gotta know your worth before you can be.
Yeah, let's go. It's Fire 5 time. We're going to start it off first. And we're going to take it to Street Beefs OG yard. This was a classic bout. Definition of a fire fight. King Leonidas, the legend, versus Italian Tyson, another legend. These two, they had a very competitive, aggressive bout, to the point in which there was a little controversy at the end. Controversy led to a rematch. And in this rematch, we saw adjustments. Check this fight out. This was a fire fight, man. Again, that's Street Beefs OG yard. King Leonidas versus Italian Tyson. 1. And after that, you might as well go ahead and check out the rematch. We're going to move on. We're going to Street Beef Scrapyard. This was yet another fire fight. We're looking at Blacksmith versus Doughboy. Again, this is the Scrapyard. This is not Doughboy from the West Coast. This fight here was amazing. Look at the timestamp. These men went to work, and well, you see, somebody went out. Amazing fight, amazing outcome. Again, this is Street Beef Scrapyard, Blacksmith versus Doughboy. Firefight, check it out. We're going to move on. We're going to take it all the way to the West Coast. And we're looking at Street Beefs, West Coast, Sandbox, Hitman versus Takamura. We had this man on tonight, the new light heavyweight champ. You saw he was featured in Buddy V's Fighters to Watch, and now he is featured in the Fire 5. This was one hell of a bout, highly contested, definition of a firefight, bro. Street Beefs West Coast, Hitman versus Takamura. Check that out. We're going to move on. Yeah. Street Beef Scrapyard. Q-Tip versus Hummingbird. You guys know Q-Tip. He's a master with those gloves. And Hummingbird, man, Hummingbird came in and he held his own. There's a height difference, but this man went out there and he went to work. Highly contested bout, fire fight. Check that out. Street Beef Scrapyard, Q-Tip versus Hummingbird. And we're gonna move on to the final fight. Street Beefs West Coast. Mike 100 versus Compa G. This fight right here is a fire bout. Definition. We saw, man, I can't think of a fight where I saw two men consecutively every round jab each other at the same exact time. I mean, I ref this fight and I swear to you guys, I'm in awe. These men are jabbing each other, pop, at the same exact time, pop. Bombs being thrown, combinations being thrown, liver getting worked. This is literally a fire fight. Again, Street Beefs West Coast, Mike 100 versus Compa G. Check that out. Sam K and the Fire 5.
I like that. I think Compa G was a fighter to watch one time too. So she always fire fights to watch.
Bro, Compa G has been so active this year. He's a rising star, bro. He's a rising star without question. You know, and he's got style. You know, at one point, because he was so stylish, he's got about 10, 15 pounds on me. But at one point, you know, I wanted to fight him just because he was so stylish. And then it got to the point where it's like I'm too much of a fan of him, bro. Like this guy, you know, he comes out and you know, he puts on a performance, bro. And he's a nice guy at that. So shout out to Compa G. Check out that bout. And you know, all these guys are warriors. All these guys are you know, true fighters. You know, so you know, check out their other fights, man. Yeah. We showing love.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Come on now, show a little light. You know. Woo!
Yeah.
So it's about that time of the show. You want to give any shout outs to anybody, Sam K?
Let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. I want to go ahead and say thank you to our guests. You know, they didn't have to be here tonight, and you know, they graced us and the show with their time. You know, appreciate both of you guys. Audience, again, go check out these guys' fights. JR is a beast. Takamura is a beast. You know, two good guys, two good fighters. I want to say thanks to the greatest producer, man. Jay, you know, he really works hard behind the scenes, and we appreciate you, bro. I want to say thank you to you, Buddy V, my co-host. You know, we can't do this. I can't do this without you, man. You know, we work off each other. You know, we make this thing do what it do. I want to say thanks to the viewers. You know, all you guys in the live chat, and anybody who wasn't able to make it live. You know, we appreciate your view. We appreciate your time. You know, and while we're on it, go ahead and hit that like button. You know, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And hit the little bell for the notification. You know, there's plenty of content on this channel, and great content. You know, shout out to Overtime Hustling. Shout out to Heart in the Fight, StreetBeefs West Coast, StreetBeefs Scrapyard, StreetBeefs Dirty South, and lastly, StreetBeefs OG Yard. We do this thanks to y'all.
Hell yeah. Man, shout out to you too. Shit, like the dynamic duo. Yeah. So shout out to everybody who's watching the show, everyone that's seen this. I appreciate you for your fans, the regular people that come in all the time. Thank you to everyone who this is their first show seeing it. Thank you as well. You can follow me on Instagram at Zuel_BuddyV. YouTube, you can go 253BuddyV. See some of the interviews I do for all the fights at the Scrapyard. And Zuel-world.com. You can find my merch, the Yankee and the Brit merch, and some of the featured fighters on there as well. It's going to be all sorts of fun. I've already updated the website. Stash jars. Shout out to Sun Wu again for buying some stash jars. He took photos. He made that shit look good. He was rocking the Zuel shirt too. I was like, yeah. And yeah, I guess that's all I got to say. So,
hell yeah.
Well, thank you guys very much. Thank you, Samke. Thank you, viewers. And in the words of Jay, one world, one love, deuces.